For 2 decades, the cause of grape toxicity in dogs has been a mystery. In 1999, the ASPCA Animal Poison Control Center noticed a cluster of dogs becoming seriously ill after ingesting grapes or raisins. Since then, we've had a pretty good understanding that grapes are not good for dogs, but we didn't know exactly what the chemical compound in grapes was that was causing this illness. To make things even more confusing, there appeared to be a variable involved. Most toxic chemicals are consistent across the board, across cases, as far as what is toxic, how much of that chemical is toxic to a dog. But when it came to grapes or raisins, the toxicity was very, very inconsistent. If you're a parent, chances are you've been asked to participate in making the newest trend, homemade slime, which is kind of like Play-Doh. Since this trend started, the ASPCA Animal Poison Control Center noticed an increase of cases of dogs who had ingested this homemade slime and then showed clinical signs similar to that of grape or raisin toxicity. In one case that unfortunately turned fatal, the necropsy showed that there were changes to the kidney that is typically only observed in grape or raisin toxicosis. It's important to note there's a key ingredient noted in all of this homemade slime. It's cream of tartar. Veterinarians at the ASPCA Animal Poison Control Center went on to notice clinical signs of grape or raisin toxicity in dogs that had ingested tamarinds, which are an exotic fruit from Africa. After following the data, they noticed a link in toxicity. Grapes, cream of tartar, and tamarinds all contain tartaric acid. The veterinarians at the ASPCA Animal Poison Control Center went on to publish their findings in a letter to the Journal of the American Veterinary Medical Association. In this letter, it's proposed that tartaric acid and its salt, potassium bitartrate, are exactly what make grapes toxic. And remember that inconsistency we talked about earlier about grapes and raisins being ingested? This finding backs that up. In grapes, the level of tartaric acid varies based on a couple of things, whether it be the variety of grape, the environment it was grown in, or the ripeness of the grape itself. Tartaric acid varies on different levels, so a grape that might have less tartaric acid will appear less toxic to a dog if it's ingested, whereas the same size dog could ingest a grape of the same size with a higher level of tartaric acid based on ripeness or how it was grown, and they'll have even more clinical signs or more severe clinical signs of toxicity. So it's important to note that this is just a hypothesis right now. There needs to be more studies done to back this up, but this is a really promising discovery, and it's the first time in 20 years that anyone has any kind of answer as to what's going on when dogs are ingesting grapes. Either way, let this serve as a cautionary tale. Keep your dogs away from grapes, homemade slime, or anything else that contains cream of tartar. I'm John from Pawsome University. Until next time, class dismissed.